Good evening, and I want to welcome everybody to the free SugarCure informational meeting. I know many of you are here from Team Pilates and you're working with 6 weeks to summer. So this is an absolutely great way to get ourselves ready for 6 weeks to summer and really help ourselves with some of the sugar things that we have that go on. So first of all, I know we all feel this way. If I ask you, do you feel like you're addicted to sugar? Chances are you're going to say yes. If I ask you, do you need to have coffee in the morning? Do you need to have a pick-me-up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? This is probably another one of those things that we say yes to. And one of the reasons that this happens is because we have an addiction to sugar. And this is something that is natural. We have receptors in our brain, and sugar actually binds to those pleasure receptors and makes us want more sugar and more sugar. Now, we do need sugar for glycolysis. We do need sugar to make energy for our bodies. Without that, we don't get enough energy. So we definitely want to have that sugar. Or we just don't want to have the amount that we eat. So what we're going to be talking about is how to get the added sugars that are in the American diet out of our diet over the next 5 weeks. And the nice thing is we're going to be doing this together. And we're going to be talking to each other in the chat. We're going to be talking about, some of the struggles that we had over the week, as well as some of the successes that we had. You can't stop sugar cold turkey. I know that, you know that, we've all probably tried it before. So really what we're going to do is we're going to work very, very slowly to be able to get things out of our diet. So the first thing that we're going to do in the very first week, and that's going to be April 23rd, and that is a Tuesday night, that'll be at 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, is we're going to talk about snacks and junk foods. So one of the things we're going to do is I'm going to have everybody who joins the SugarCure. Since we're at our homes or we're someplace else, we can bring our favorite snack with us. And what we're going to do is we're going to start looking at those favorite snacks. We're going to start looking at and learning how to read the labels on those snacks and know, is there sugar that might not be listed? Is there sugar that's been added? How do we find out? What is the sugar that when they say there's 20 grams of carbohydrates, but they only list 10 grams of sugar? What are the other 20 grams? So we're actually going to start off with some of our favorite snacks. And even healthy snacks, like for instance, if granola bars are one of your favorite, or the first time that I did this, I did have someone whose favorite snack is Greek God's vanilla yogurt or honey vanilla yogurt. And Greek yogurt, usually really good for you. Unfortunately, that particular one had a whole bunch of honey, a whole bunch of added sugar, and actually made it really not all that healthy, almost as healthy as maybe drinking a sugary drink. And so what we want to do is we want to look at what some of those foods are that we eat on a regular basis, our afternoon go-to snack. Like I said, granola bars are a huge one that a lot of people go to, or nuts that are honey roasted, things like that. So in our first week, we're going to bring our favorite snacks and we're going to talk about them. One of the other things that we also always want to be talking about and thinking about is, where do we actually get good sugar from? Where do we get natural sugar from? And so we'll be starting to crowd out some of the junk foods and the snacks by eating good foods that are still sweet, like carrots are actually very sweet. Having strawberries for snacks, having apples for snacks. I know my sister, one of her personal favorite snacks is raisins. And you can get sugar from raisins, and it's a more healthy snack. So one of the first things that we will be talking about is our snacks. Then we're going to take a week and Every week we're going to have something to do. And we're going to take a week to start working with the snacks. The second week, we're actually going to be talking about beverages. Okay. And some of our favorite beverages, we'll talk about some of our favorite ones. And I know a lot of us, some of our favorite beverages come from our local coffee shop, and there's lattes and things like that. So we will discuss what some of the different things are that we can do to replace some of that sugar, and we'll start getting it out of our system. Now, that week we'll be talking about the successes and the difficulties of the first week. And part of that will probably be feeling a little bit logy, feeling a little bit tired because we haven't had the sugar that we're used to. And then the third week, we'll be talking about how to reduce simple carbohydrates. What we need to look for. What is a simple carbohydrate? Where do we find it in our normal food supply? Why should we always shop on the outside of a store? And again, we'll be discussing the successes and the hard parts of our second week. And at that point, what you'll find is you're going to be sleeping better. You're going to be not feeling as tired in the afternoon. You're not going to need that afternoon pickup. You're going to have a little bit more energy because you're not supplementing with false energy and getting, when we have little kids, we call it a sugar high. The third week or the fourth week, we're going to be talking about how do we sleuth for added sugars? How do we make sure that what we're eating is as healthy as it can be? And then our final week, we're going to be talking about how do you plan? How do you plan for food throughout the week for yourself, for your spouse, for your family? How do you plan what you're going to eat? How do you help make that easier? And this is going to help with those of us that are doing 6 weeks to summer, because we're going to have menus for 6 weeks to summer. And a lot of the time we're going to be cooking them on the weekend for the next week and getting things really ready. So we're going to talk about how to plan what you eat during the week, how to plan how to get the most out of the food that you eat. And by that point, you're going to be feeling really good. You're going to be sleeping a lot better. We know from research that added sugars actually reduces our ability to sleep. It reduces our ability to have those, feel energized throughout the whole day. And a lot of the times added sugar can actually reduce our energy to work out, to go over to Team Pilates and to do our Pilates workouts that come with our 6 weeks to summer membership. So we really want to make sure that we get the most out of this. And the reason that specifically Angela and I like to do this is because we're all going through this at the same time, and it really is detoxing off of sugar. And if we can do it as a group, and if we can support each other, and Angela and I will be doing this with you as well, if we can do this as a group, if we can support each other, it's going to make things so much easier and so much nicer when it comes to understanding what we're going through and having that support that we need. And that's the great thing about having a group, doing it in a group. And definitely with 6 weeks to summer, this is a great thing, is because you always have that information. And Team Pilates is getting a brand new piece of equipment that is actually going to help us to understand our bodies a little bit more and understand where our bodies are as far as our basal metabolic rate, as far as our BMI. And we can see a distinct change over this 5 weeks and then throughout the 6 weeks to summer, which is going to be incredibly wonderful and incredibly helpful for all of us. So that's pretty much what we're going to do. We're going to be talking about some of the science behind why we need glucose in our system. We can answer some of the science behind how our body metabolizes, why our body metabolizes glucose different than it does fructose, why it is that the added sugars actually add to our waistline and add to the amount of fat that is stored in our bodies. So at this point, if you have any questions, go ahead and type them into chat. If not, we're actually going to send this video out to everyone who is interested in the SugarCure. We're also going to send this video out to all of the 6 weeks of summer. If there is someone that you know that may not even be part of Team Pilates that might be interested in joining us, go ahead and send me an email. And if that's the case, I can send this video to them as well. Anyone who is interested is more than welcome to join. Let me know if you've got any questions on email. Hopefully everybody could hear this and was able to do what they needed to do with the audio and the video and could see and hear. If you have any questions, please let me know. I know this is a quick introductory. I'm not seeing anything come up in the chat with questions, so I definitely thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the SugarCure starting next Tuesday night. Thank you so much. Have an absolutely phenomenal evening. Yes, I will post the email. Thank you for asking. My email is sagenutritioncoaching@gmail.com. You should see it in the chat. It's all one word, SageNutritioncoaching@gmail.com. All right. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you joining me. Have an absolutely phenomenal meeting, and I look forward to seeing everyone in SugarCure. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.